Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oracle 21C SQL tuning. Why SQL tuning? SQL tuning is about making queries faster and less resource hungry. In Oracle, performance can be affected by bad execution plans, missing indexes, poor join strategies, too much data scanned. Think of it like traffic flow. A badly designed route causes jams, but rerouting or adding shortcuts, which are indexes, speeds things up. First of all, we are going to explain the plan, see how Oracle executes your query. Secondly, we are going to do our second step, which is our SQL tuning. Thirdly, we are going to create a shortcut, which are our indexes, like we mentioned. We are going to be using bind variables. Those are meant to reduce hard parsing. Step 5, we are going to have our hints, which are going to suggest execution to optimize them. Then step 6, we are going to be detecting slow SQL with the $ views. Then step 7, we are going to practice if you would like, if you had a query like this, what you could do. So first things first, we are going to connect to our database and then we are going to execute our queries. I will be copying everything from my right to my left. Okay, now I have connected to my environment. So the next thing we'll be running the first query, which is going to be explained for at select from where select table. Okay, we have copied our query and the table of view does not exist. We are going to do like we did in our last video. We are going to alter the current session, which is our current schema, and move it to HR because my employee table was created as an HR. Okay, now that I have altered my session, I am going to run the query again. Okay, this has been explained. Now I am going to copy this, and I am going to paste it right here. Okay, 14 rows have been selected. Now I am going to move to my next step, which is going to be indexing. Okay, as you have noticed, step 2 and step 3 are pretty much the same thing. So I am going to be creating the indexes. Okay, no rows have been selected for this one because in my table, I do not have anybody with the last name King. I am going to, okay, well, so apparently name is already used in an existing object, which was our last video. So now I am going to run this query. Okay, no row still return because I don't have a key. Okay, sorry, my apologies. I do have to do the step 2. I do have to do the SQL tuning. So I am going to copy all this from here. Let me make sure it is highlighted for somebody else's use. Okay, so I am going to do that. Okay, now I have done my step 2 SQL tuning. The next step will be step 3, which will be indexing example create shortcut. Okay, so I am going to run everything. I'm going to copy everything on my right again to my left. Okay, for us to avoid an error, we run this command, which is select star from employees where last name, like this is our wildcard. But because was having an issue with my system earlier, I did create another Alice and another Bob because they were not returning the results I needed. So everybody else's will be different, but this is how I did it. Now, the next step will be using bind variables. For this is done to reduce hard parsing. So I am going to be working on those commands. Okay, so everything worked out perfectly, and this is where we are. My screen is not as big, so here I am. Okay, so I think this one makes is better for everybody to view. So now we are going to move to our next step, which will be hints to suggest execution to optimizer. So we are going to run that query. Okay, there is an error with the code right here. We have fixed it, and here we are. So our code ran, no roles were selected. So we are going to then move to our step 6, detecting slow SQL, and we are going to run this command and see how it goes. Okay, so we ran our query, and these are all the slow queries that we have. Okay, we ran this query right here, and these are all the queries that were this is what was returned. So now we have 14 rows selected. So now we move on to step 7. Practice if you had a query like this one, and let's see. But because I do not have customer ID in my database, I don't have a table for customers, neither do I have anything that is customers. Most likely, it will not return any values. Okay, so because the table does not exist, it will not return anything. With that being said, that is how we do SQL tuning. See you in the next project. Thank you.